Hi. I'm really stuffed up and sick right now, so I sound crazy and insane. I'm cold. I'm wearing a heated blanket. So today's video is just going to be really chill and lazy because I don't feel good. I'm not feeling great. But today we're going to do spooky winter films. We're going to talk about some spooky winter movies that I think are good to watch during the Christmas holiday season and are just fun to change it up from like the happy, beautiful, fun little Christmas movies because I'm not really a holiday person. I don't know. My favorite holiday is Halloween. So I'm not really much of a Christmas girl. People think I'm insane. They're like, "What do you mean you don't like Christmas?" I don't know. I'm just not a huge Christmas person. I think that if anything, Christmas brings out like the worst in people when it should bring out the best. It brings out the worst in people. It's stressful, especially if you don't have a lot of money or you don't have a lot of family or good support. It feels more alone and lonely and sad. So I don't know. I don't know. But I thought it'd be fun to go into some spooky winter films. I live in a place where it does not snow or get very cold in the winter. But if anyone watching is in an environment that's much cooler and nice outside, then I'm jealous of you. I yearn for the snow. I yearn for something a little bit more cooler, to actually make me feel like it's the holidays. But I never get that here. So that sucks. When a lot of people think about the holidays and Christmas, they picture warmth and family, maybe even religion and gifts and, food, all that fun stuff. But the wintertime can be a lot more dark and isolating than a lot of people realize, I think. And that's why I like that there's a whole genre of kind of darker, spooky movies, like for Christmas, like Krampus and different folklore and different stories like that to kind of make it a bit creepier and spookier because wintertime has a lot of themes of cold atmosphere. It's isolating, family trauma. It can be dark and foreboding, grief, mental illness. All those things get amplified during the holiday season because a lot of people are with family or they're with people or loved ones, and sometimes there's just not a lot of support, and that can be really sad and isolating and hard. And thankfully I do have a very supportive group of friends and family that I love, and it's not lonely, but it's just it can get really sad for a lot of people, and it makes me feel really bad. um so I'm just going over a few movies that I think kind of fit the spooky winter theme. They're not really all Christmas movies, but they just kind of fit the isolating genre of the winter genre. See, I'm like repeating words. Literally, my head's all stuffed up. I'm like hearing colors. I don't know what's going on. I look like I have the plague. Yeah. So the first movie I'm going over is, of course, Nosferatu, 2024 by Robert Eggers. I love the OG one better, from 1979 with Klaus Kinski and Isabel Adjani. That one was by Werner Herzog. I like that one a lot better story wise, but I did love the Nosferatu from last year as well. I The newer one has Lily Rose Depp, Bill Skarsgård, Nicholas Hoult, Aaron Taylor Johnson, a lot of the same actors we've been seeing a lot, and it's because they do a good job. And Robert Eggers really likes to use the same people kind of in his films, like Willem Dafoe and stuff too. But I love Nosferatu. I love the entire very dark. There's not one moment of peace in that entire movie. It's very, very dark, and there's not a lot of comedic relief either. I think the acting's amazing. Lily Rose Depp really outdid herself, especially being the daughter of Johnny Depp. You kind of have to. But I was even surprised by Nicholas Hoult. He did a great job too. I loved him in Warm Bodies when I was younger. It's just such a good spooky winter film. That's very creepy and isolating. And I really liked their take on it. Like I said, I like the original one a bit better. But I love the aesthetic, and I think it's very beautifully shot as well. I think Robert Eggers does a very good job at that. He does a lot of art type movies too, like The Witch, as well. And I know they're working on the Wolfman movie right now, or the Werewolf, with Aaron Taylor Johnson. So that'll be interesting to see. Um, see what it is. I think he's doing a pretty good job. I like what he's been doing, so we'll see. But that's my first pick for this video. My next one that kind of fits into it, following that, is Frankenstein 2025 by Guillermo del Toro. I really liked his version this year that came out a few months ago. I like the original 1994 one too, with Robert De Niro and Kenneth Branagh and Helen Bonham Carter. My voice is shot. I do think that, as somebody who loves the book, the 1994 one is closer to the book. There were some stuff in the De Taro movie that was taken straight out of the book, and I liked that too. Jacob Elordi did a pretty good job, I think, as the monster. Mia Goth, I loved her, and then Oscar Isaac as well always does really good in a lot of the movies he's in. I did like a lot of stuff. I wish that they maybe strayed a little bit more towards the book. They added a lot of stuff that I think maybe was just kind of more atmospheric, and they wanted to, build that aesthetic with how Del Toro does with a lot of his movies, which I love. Crimson Peak. I love how he does gothic films. I think he's an amazing director. Anything he does is pretty amazing. So I did like this version a lot. I just wish they stayed a little more close to the book, but I know that he kind of wanted to just do his own take on it, which I also can respect as well. Yeah, I really liked Frankenstein 2025. I think it's cute. I think it's good. I liked the relationship between Mia Goth's character and Jacob Elordi's the creature. I thought it was very sweet, almost like she was a motherly figure to him. And I like how that kind of also, is metaphorical to Oscar Isaac losing his mother when he was younger and feeling like he lost something within him when his mother left as well, that he was trying to get back. Playing God. So, great book. If you guys haven't read the original Frankenstein book, it's such a good book. Everybody should have to read that in high school. Everyone should have to read that book once in their life. It's amazing. The next film I'm going to do is, I just love this in general, and I had to add it because I just think it's very winter. It's like completely winter coded. Phantom of the Opera, 2004. I love the original Broadway play. I love the musical. I love everything about Phantom of the Opera already. So the movie's just like sacred to me. I love this movie so much. From 2004, directed by Joel Schumacher. Has Gerard Butler, Emmy Rossum, Patrick Wilson. He's in so many things. I love Phantom of the Opera. I love the dark romance. I love the entire old opera house aesthetic, and the sadness in the entire tale. If you've read the original book as well from the 1700s, it's an incredibly sad book, and it's an incredibly sad movie because it's one of those stories that makes you feel a lot of empathy and sadness for the villain, because you understand why they became a villain because of the circumstances that they were. It's like the nurture versus nature argument that a lot of people always discuss, and it's such a heartbreakingly beautiful tale. And just the entire movie's amazing. The acting, the aesthetic, it's just so enchanting and alluring and haunting, and the music's beautiful. The music, I could listen to that soundtrack every single day. Especially the Think of Me when they're out on the roof and it's snowing and they're singing together, and it's so beautiful. And I think that that's a winter movie. I'm just going to say it is. I don't care if someone disagrees. It is a winter movie. Yeah. Sorry that I look homeless, by the way. Still. homeless and sick. Look like I have the bubonic plague. It's fine. It's really fine. We're moving on to Black Christmas, 1974, with Olivia Hussey, Margot Kidder, and Keir Dullea, directed by Bob Clark. I just recently watched this movie for the first time, and it was so bussin'. Why didn't anyone tell me this movie was bussin'? So creepy, so eerie and disturbing, but I did not know Olivia Hussey was in it, and I love Olivia Hussey. I'm so sad we lost. I think, did we lose her? It was either last year or the year before she passed away. Her and Romeo and Juliet. She was such a beautiful and talented actress. I loved her. So I was really happy to see her in this, and she did a great job in this. Black Christmas is definitely a creepy movie. It's very creepy. Whole house of like frat girls, and this phone caller keeps calling them and saying very weird perverted messages, and you're trying to figure out who it is, and all these people are ending up getting murdered, and it's definitely not the type of Christmas movie most people would be like, I'm gonna watch this around the holidays. It's gory, and it's fun. I like it a lot. And I like how the story took place, and how a lot of the characters in there you could relate to hating. There's a lot of people in there I was like, I don't like this character, and it's justified as well. And I like that. It's kind of like satisfying in a way. So yeah, I put Black Christmas on there. It's on Tubi. A lot of good movies have been on Tubi recently. I'm a Tubi girl. I love Tubi. So download Tubi. This isn't sponsored, obviously, but download Tubi. I have two more movies, and they're both Stephen King novels made into movies. I think everybody could probably already even tell me which ones it's going to be. But I put The Shining from 1980 and Misery 1990, exactly 10 years apart. The Shining was Stanley Kubrick. Misery was Rob Reiner. But The Shining is, I mean, an obvious pick for winter. Obvious pick. It deals with the themes of isolation, family trauma, very dark and foreboding as well. And I think everybody who's seen it knows that it's Stanley Kubrick, because he has a very specific film style, and he does these very vibrant, beautiful colors in his movies. The Shining has a lot of the red, vibrant color. Red rum, murder. So that's always a fun one to go back to during the holidays as well. Shelley Duvall and Jack Nicholson are amazing in it. Sorry. Bless her heart, Shelley Duvall. Love her forever. She was treated like absolute crap on this movie, and she should have not have been. So Stanley Kubrick, what the hell is your problem? But Jack Nicholson, you're still creepy as hell. You're still an amazing actor. You scare me. You scare me. He's the type of guy that's like, he just looks like he acts that way in real life. You know what I mean? He plays creepy roles great. You're amazing. He just has that face. But yeah, The Shining. Second one's Misery, with Kathy Bates, James Caan, and Richard Farnsworth. Misery's a really messed up movie, and I loved the book. I loved the book so much. About a crazy, it's basically just a crazy fan stalker who kidnaps the writer of her favorite book series, and she holds him hostage and does awful things to him. And it's just like a modern fan fiction, I guess. I don't know, but I've always loved this movie and book. And I always kind of forget it's definitely in the holiday genre. I mean, with how cold and wintry and the entire atmosphere as well. So I'm glad I remembered it and put it on this list. But yeah, these are all the movies that I picked. There's some that I didn't include. Like, I didn't do Krampus, but I do like Krampus. 2015 with Toni Collette, and there's a lot of good actors in that film as well. I just thought it was more lighthearted, that movie, like, which I mean, some of these kind of are too, I guess, but I feel like they're not really, to be honest. There's a lot of like comedic relief in Krampus, and has a very happy ending, and it's very upbeat, but I do like how in Krampus it really does like hit at the point of not getting along with families during the holidays and having to spend time with them, and how that can be really hard and frustrating for a lot of people because either they don't get along with their family or they don't have much family, and it can be really, like I said in the beginning, really isolating, and it's like a different grief that people carry with them, and that can be really hard for a lot of people to understand that don't have to deal with that, and they have a very loving support system all year round. So I think that they did do a really good job in that movie of kind of explaining, hey, these are your family members, even though you don't get along with them, even though you guys have a lot of differences, they're your family, and you still love them, even though sometimes you need some space from them, or you don't, you need to take them in just bits and pieces because you can't be with them all the time or you'd go crazy. So I did like that. I love that for Krampus, the themes of that, and of course the origins of like the German folklore of something creepy. Because when most people think of Christmas, they're thinking of like happy holidays and warmth and family and gifts and presents, and even, like I said in the beginning, religion. And it's the kind of this holy, beautiful, kind time of year. But then what makes these movies or any of the creepier winter movies more foreboding is the fact that it's the complete opposite of that. It's kind of like the same instance of when you have tales of possessed children, because children are so innocent and they're so um, beautiful and in a gift. And when you see them in a light as being evil, it's like your body has a visceral reaction to it, because it's like, well, that doesn't make sense. Same thing with religion. Religion is a very supposed to be a calming, beautiful, sacred thing, and when it's desecrated in movies, it can make people feel a certain type of way, because, well, what do you mean it's godly? It's supposed to be protected, and it's not. And that's why it goes against a lot of human nature. And same goes with the holidays, I think, is that people treat it like this time of year that's magical and special. And when it's turned into something it's not supposed to be, people kind of, are like, what's going on here? I don't know if I like that or not. But I think that's good, because I think that a lot of movies are supposed to make you uncomfortable. They're supposed to make you uncomfortable, and they're supposed to make you think about different trials you have in life and how that can come through and make you act different, and why you act different. And it makes you question a lot of things that you do and what others do. And that's what I love about movies so much, is that they make you feel okay to be imperfect and understand why the world works the way it works, because not everything is going to end up like a Hallmark movie. That's just not how it works. It's not how real life is. And yeah, I just like that. I like having to deal with uncomfortable subjects sometimes, because if it's never talked about or you never learn about any of it, then how are you ever going to address or make yourself better or feel better if you just keep avoiding what you're trying to, you know, get rid of? Did this just turn into a therapy session? I think so. I'm not sure. I'm just trying to go over my favorite spooky winter films, but I'm getting a little into it. I promise I don't like hate Christmas. I don't hate it. It's just not my favorite. It's stressful. I got to get gifts for people, and I love getting gifts for people, but like everybody, it gets hard. It gets really hard. Um this is a time of year where, treasure your loved ones, spend time with them, and make memories, because, time keeps going on, and the passage of time doesn't stop. And that's really scary. And if you have something good, don't let it go, and try to treasure it and keep it for a long, long time. So, that being said, I hope everybody has a great holiday. And if you don't have any family that you have to love or be with this year, I hope that you have good friends. I hope that you have a good support system, kind of a found family situation. Um Someone to fall back on, because like I said, it's hard. It can be really hard for a lot of people, and I've seen that through other people that I know and friends that I have. So I hope that you make it the best you can, even though it can be really alone and isolating. But I think these movies are good, and I think maybe they could even make you feel a bit better, get you out of that headspace and get more into the world of like vampires and creepy creatures and different stuff like that. And if you want to deal with the real creatures and people, The Shining, Misery, I mean, we already know how awful people can be in real life already, but if you want to see an even more exaggerated instance, then I'd say watch these movies as well. But either way, they're cold and they're spooky, and they're good winter movies if you don't want to watch a Hallmark movie of Samantha meeting a tree chopper and getting married at their coffee shop. Yeah. Anyways, I'm sick. Like I said, I don't feel good. I feel awful. But I hope everybody has a great holiday season and stay sexy, stay expired, stay hating Christmas, Grinch even maybe. Um, stay optimistic for the future and for things because they could always get better. You never know. Bye.